We are back at Cavs Media Day, joined by new Cavaliers head coach Kenny Atkinson. Kenny, last time we talked, you were getting ready to go to the Olympics. That was prior to your gold medal game run with Team France.
That's right.
I asked you beforehand, how much of an influence will the international game have on what you do here in Cleveland? Now that you've been through the full experience, you guys won a bunch of games, almost won a gold medal. Anything you can tell us about what you're taking away from that experience and we may see here in Cleveland this upcoming year?
Oh yeah. Oh, a lot. I'm going to take a lot from it. Especially, it was interesting the switching, right? So, a lot of teams switch, especially in the game in FIBA and here too, right? And I do think there's one particular way that teams play against the switch, and I think in FIBA there's another. And I just think what we did with Team France, especially the Canada game when we beat that team with 11. I think they have 11 NBA guys, but they were playing small, and we just punished them inside, which we just would, roll the small down, and we and I'll give Vincent Collet, our coach, a ton of credit. He's like, man, they're going to play small. We're going to punish them. We're going to punish the switch with the deep post, and then we're going to offensive rebound our tails off. And it was I think Canada was 10-point favorite against us. So, and we got to the free throw line because we were doing both of those things. So that was, So that's one thing. I'm gonna take that here for sure.
When we talked last time, Evan Mobley, and we talked to Kobe earlier, Kobe said one of the reasons you were the right choice for this hire was your plan for unlocking Evan Mobley. And we talked about that shooting more threes, being more aggressive. We mentioned the Draymond role-esque potential role. That was before you actually got to see him in camp, in person. Camp hasn't started yet, but in workouts. Now that you've had a chance to kind of see Evan, is your ceiling and your hope for what he could be maybe even higher than what you had initially anticipated?
It's funny, I've been in the West Coast for the last 4 years, right? And sure, I watch Cavs game, I watch the NBA, but I wasn't like focused on the Cavs. So just this past week, like seeing him in open gym and just seeing the talent and you know what I like? I like the quiet competitor, right? Like I don't know if he gets enough credit for being a competitor. He just kind of goes about his business. Obviously competes on the what's up, DG? Good. But look how much bigger Darius has gotten. Like he's like a middle linebacker, which maybe we'll talk about him later. Yeah, but just the overall talent. Like, man, this guy is talented. Excited to get to know him more and watch him more in camp coming up here.
We'll talk DG because he just walked over here. Noticeably bigger. Zach, could you actually pan the camera to get Darius real quick as he's getting ready for his photos? We know he had the jaw injury, lost 12 pounds during the season. I don't know how much he weighs. He looks terrific.
Yeah.
Not the greatest season for Darius for a couple different reasons last year. Now, point guards have had a heck of a run under you. Dinwiddie, D'Angelo Russell. You've had some sort of, I don't say magic touch, but some way of getting Jeremy Lin, yep.
Put that on there.
That's Steph Curry.
Yeah,
won a championship with
you.
you. Hey, we'll give you credit, Coach. What are your expectations and hopes for Darius Garland here, playing off ball a little more potentially with the ball handlers you have, but really just getting back to the all-star form we had become accustomed to here for Darius Garland?
Yeah, I love point guards. When they have quarterback coaches or whatever in the NFL, I love point guards. And I always felt like Darius, now competing against him a lot, right, when we were in Brooklyn, he's a pure point guard because he can pass the heck out of the ball with both hands. I think he's an underrated passer, because you've been around him, but much better passer than people think. Understands the game, can change rhythm, right? He's not just playing fast or slow. And then, kind of the undervalued thing about him, we talked about this the other day, is his, off-ball shooting, right? His ability.
More, though.
Yeah, he's got his ability to shoot, off-ball screens. When him and Rubio played together, Darius would go off, staggers and pin downs and all that. And yeah, I showed him something where it's like, dude, you gotta shoot more. Your volume's good, but they got to be good ones, right? I do think he's an incredible off the dribble 3-point shooter, which there's only a handful of those in the league. But we don't want him having to ISO and take 8 dribbles and have to take a step back every time to get us off the dribble 3. So I can't wait to kind of unlock, that volume, that three-point shooting volume, with him.
I went back and was watching some 2016, 2017 Brooklyn tape because It's a fun team. Those were a lot of fun teams.
Man, you really have no life.
I get paid to do some of this stuff. It was part work, part pleasure, but you guys use Joe Harris in a very specific role in Brooklyn. And when you look at this Cavs roster, I think Max Strus can do a lot of similar things that Joe did. Joe was probably more of a pure shooter than Max is, but Max has more of a off the dribble, can do a little more outside of catch and shoot. Is there another layer to what you think from that position, from that shooter position, Max can add on top of what the Joe Harris role traditionally is because of his playmaking ability after he catches in those situations?
It's a phenomenal comp, and we've already talked to Max about it. It's actually, Joe was a mentor of Max. Yeah, so they spoke before, and when Max was trying to still establish himself in the league, he picked Joe's brain. So yeah, I think where we got to Joe was not having Joe just be a catch and shoot guy. And we got him downhill a lot, and that's been the message to Max with Max's size, his ability to get in the lane, his ability to use a footwork, 2-foot stops, stride stops in the lane to score or make plays for others. So I love Max's shooting piece, but there's much more down. There's much more there. You're going to see him downhill. You're going to see him more in the paint this year.
BJ gave me the wrap-up, so it means we got two more, Coach.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell. Obviously re-signed, top 15 player in the league. How excited are you to explore everything that man can do from an offensive standpoint, whether it's as a scorer, a facilitator, heck, even a decoy on some actions? How good do you think he could be in this offensive scheme?
So what I've been really surprised in open gym is how well he passes it.
Incredible.
Like I said, I watched him, and I did compete against him when he was in Utah and all that, but he reminds me of, you remember LeBron used to just throw those darts, like the one-handed darts, like inaccurate too, like all of a sudden it's like shot out of a cannon, and there's a corner three before you know it. So I'm thrilled with that. But again, I think Donovan should have more versatility to his game, right? I felt like, he's getting the ball at the end of the shot clock a lot, having to make tough plays or tough shots. So hopefully we can get him earlier triggers, create advantages earlier, and then again we're going to be more read and react, more playing on principles instead of plays, and I think that fits his game. I think he's going to be excited to play in the system. Last thing, you can keep telling me he's got to run without it too sometimes, right? He's got to run the court, because if we can kick it ahead to him, or we can get him to the slot or the corner in a closeout situation. He's one of the best closeout players in the league, so getting him into more closeouts, but it starts with him doing the work early.
And last one here, because now we have BJ standing here, and I got to keep BJ on schedule, Coach. You're the one big change from this roster when you look at the end of last season and this year. The roster essentially comes back. You added JT Thor, drafted Jalen Tyson, but for the most part, core four's back, re-signed. You're the one variable. Do you like that, knowing that, okay, this is an established group to some capacity, and now I'm here to kind of unlock the next step, or do you feel like it adds pressure to what you're expected to do?
I think it's humbling, first of all, to think, me and my staff, we can come in and help push this thing forward. But I think it's my next evolution as a coach, right? Kind of went through the rebuilding thing with Brooklyn and did that. Now this is like phase 2, right? Like getting a really good team to being an elite team. So I don't know. Sure, there's pressure, but you relish the challenge. That's why I'm in it, and I'm just glad I get to do it with a group of high character guys. That's huge. I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be enjoyable for you to watch it, be on this journey. Hey, let's see if we can do this. But I'm pretty confident.
Awesome. That's Kenny Atkinson, the new coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Coach, thank you so much.
Great stuff.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.